So I'm going to take this step by step and I'm going to go ahead and get started as if you were downloading it for the first time and using it for one of your clients, or if you're watching this recording, for your organization that you work for. Okay, so the best place to start is Grant Writing Made Easier, the course. You're going to scroll down to where it says New, the AI Grants Hub. You're going to click the drop-down menu and go to the AI Grants Hub version 2. If you have not signed up for Notion yet, first you need to do that. Once you get signed up for Notion, come back to this page and click download your free AI Grants Hub template. Now, when you sign up for Notion, you can get the $10 a month Notion thing, but it's not going to have the AI. So you need the one that has the AI to make all of the features of this template work. Now, if you have a .edu email address, I've been told that you can get really excellent discounts on that. I asked Stephanie if while she's at the Make with Notion conference today, if she could find somebody to chat with about getting a discount for nonprofits. So we'll hear back from her on that next week, and we'll also try to set up a meeting with Notion to get that idea in their head if she doesn't get to talk to anybody. So you're going to click.
Paula was brilliant when she brought that up yesterday.
It was so good. Download your free AI Grants Hub template. And you'll see in the top right-hand corner, these two little squares. That usually means a copy or duplicate function. So we're going to hit duplicate. And now it's wanting to open my Notion app because I have Notion downloaded on my computer. So I have the actual app. You can do it in an app on your computer, or you can do it in your browser. The main reason I have it in an app is because I can, if I don't have internet, put things in here and it's just fine. Now, if you want to use internet features, you got to hook it up, have Wi-Fi that you can connect to, but you can edit things in here without having internet, which is a nice feature. And the other reason to have the app on your computer is you can open multiple windows up here easily. Okay, so it's going to say, how would you like to add AI Grants Hub free for GWME members? I can put that in any of my existing team spaces. And you can see I have multiple. I don't have a team space that's or workspace, excuse me, that's just one thing for all of my businesses. Each element has different things. So each client, our internal things, and we even have some additional things that we're working on, including an internal archive with a little skull on it. So I'm going to actually add it to be visible only to me. And that's just going to put it in a private space. And those private spaces are all the way down in the left-hand corner of your screen. And the other thing you can do, if you want to put it in a specific team space right now, is just go over here and create a team space by going to where it says team spaces, hitting the 3 dots and selecting new team space. I might actually do that just to show you how it works. And I'll set it to closed. And that's what I recommend you do, unless you want everybody who's part of your business to see it, or who has an account under your business to see it. Just do closed, and then you can individually add people to it, or you can add it as private. The only difference is they might be able to see the team space exists, but they can't see anything in it. Private, they can't even see that it exists. So I'll select closed, create team space. I'm not inviting anyone for now. And it's going to give you this blank, kind of like minimal template. You don't have to keep that. To see the team space, I'm going to hit more. Oh, and it shows me it's right there at the top, actually. Now I'm going to take the hub template, click those three buttons or three dots. When you hover over it, it says delete, duplicate, and more. And I'm going to put move to practice team space. Now, if I go up, I can see it's right here. I no longer want this team space homepage, so I'll just delete it, move to trash. And now the only thing in there is this. Okay. Now it looks like it's just one page, but it contains all of the pages and databases that go along with this. Now, let me pause here and see what questions you all have, if any.
So my client has a subscription to Notion. I'm assuming I can download this into their subscription and rename it.
I'm thinking about it. You can't download it to theirs, no.
No, I have to download it to mine. Can I upload from mine to theirs? Or just develop it in mine as a share space?
What
Or
we
have to rebuild it?
What we recommend is that you build it in your space because you can't download it to their space unless you're logged in.
Right.
So build it in your space. And then the next step is you're going to go not here, but up here in the right-hand corner and select share.
Yep.
Then you can see we have clients down here, right? All these people here, they're not members. Then you can add someone. Let me see if I can add somebody. I'll add myself. Just as an example with an old email address that pulled up here. Okay. And I'm going to say full access, invite.
Okay.
Now, that account does not have a Notion account, that email address I used. And so you do not need to upgrade them to a member. You can skip for now, and that person can do anything except for basically delete or change some settings and admin things behind the scenes. So it's fantastic for collaboration. It's like Google Docs. You don't have to have anything to be able to use it. Oops. Once you are ready to turn it over, you can reassign who the owner of the team space is. Stephanie knows how to do this. I need to learn how to do it, but I think it's pretty simple. And I'll make sure in her session next week or in the next session, the grant writing skill builder session 2, she can show you how to do that.
So I set myself up with a sandbox space in the client subscription.
Okay.
So what I'm hoping is I'll rebuild it or build it and invite my sandbox so I can see it from their subscription.
Okay. I'm not quite sure. Stephanie would probably be able to better.
And I'll stumble through it. None of this is intuitive. I just click on everything till something breaks.
Yeah. You can always go back and fix things, right?
Yeah.
So the next step I do is I rename this for my client. I take the TM off. Or clients, AI Grants Hub. I take our logo off, and then I just remove the keep in touch thing. Because obviously we're working together. They know how to keep in touch with me. That's not the best way to do it. I keep the additional resources because this lists the support library, the AI Grants Example Hub, and some basic setup stuff that they may want to explore. And then this is the dashboard that they'll be able to see, and it'll fill up with stuff. Also at the bottom, again, the support library, there's an example here and setup guides. These things are connected to external links, therefore you cannot edit them. So they're just for their reference. Oops, I want to find out why that's not working. Okay. But at this point, just emphasize to them the setup instructions you don't need to worry about. Those are for me, and I'll teach you how to use this. Now, there are several different ways to get places, right? So we've got multiple menus here. These 3, 4, 5 sections right here are just aggregating multiple different pages and databases together. They're also the same things listed over here. If you want to have a view of every single thing in the database, they're all listed out right here. Okay. And just thinking through some of the questions that I got. Uh-oh, I bet a bunch of people are waiting. Or a couple people are waiting here. Just thinking through some of the questions that I got during the webinar. This is now living in your Notion. No one but you or whoever you give access to can see any of this. Just because it's our template, it's separate from us. It now is yours. We can't see anything you do with it, nor can Notion see anything you put in it, anything with the AI. Now, the AI that it uses, they each have their own privacy policies and things like that, and you can look into those. However, Notion has an overall privacy policy and data use policy, AI policy that governs it. If a client has a question, I think I have this listed on the sales page somewhere, but you can send them to the security and privacy practices page where it talks about compliance, how it works, who are the LLMs that they use. Yep. And it tells you on their sub-processor page, which they actually house in Notion, all the different systems. So Anthropic, Confluent, Cloudflare, DeepL, Fireworks, OpenAI, and so on and so forth. I love that they have this in a Notion page. Of course they do. So if your client wants to get in the weeds with it, or your board of directors wants to get in the weeds with this, that's where the information lives. And I'll also put that link in the chat. Oops, not trying to share. Again, hold on here. Trying to do the chat. There's the info. Okay, I know we had some folks just come in. Sorry, I did not see you in the waiting room, but again, this is all being recorded. Yep, and you can go back and see the beginning part here that you missed. Any other questions thus far? Okay, so next step, clients AI Grants Hub. So we're going back to that page. The first thing I would do if I were working with a client on the grant launch or just getting them set up here in general is to go to the standard grant narrative. So you can go to grant writing, go to standard grant narrative, and there's a tutorial on there on how to set this up. There is a table of contents here. And I would just start entering in the basic information right here. There's social media. Now, just some quick and easy, like here's how to use Notion because, you know, it's a little bit different because I'm clicking here and guess what? I can't get a little plus sign to let me create another row below. So what you can do is you can click here. Hold on, there, it actually did it for me. You can click here on these dots. Oh, it's selecting the whole thing. Hold on. You can click here on these dots and you can duplicate. Hold on, someone's coming in. Or you can just click this plus below or this plus to the right. Actually pretty easy. Then you can name these headers whatever you like. Then we have a mission statement place, an organizational history, and these are recommended AI prompts for this section. So these will be embedded in here. Obviously, this is probably the easiest section for you to copy and paste from somewhere and put it in here. But let's say we don't have that. Let's say all we have is their website and no old grant documents, okay? We can go here and copy the name of their website. And then see this little dude down here that's looking at us and moving around? Click him. And then you can say, this AI prompt, copy and paste. Use the following information from this website. Let me go back and copy and paste that again. To create a detailed mission history section for a full grant proposal. And then I'm going to hit all sources and see how web search is turned on. And then I'll hit go or the up button. Well, let's see how it does. Now, what's fun about this is it's telling you the process over here on the right side. And it should enter the information over here on the left side directly into your grant draft. Now, let's say you're doing this and your client doesn't want anything to do with Notion. We still use this, even if clients aren't invested in Notion, because it helps us so much. So I'll tell you in a second what that means for us. It wrote out the mission and history. Oh, but that's the thing. I forgot to tell it to put it in to here. In the prompt, tell it where to put it. So I'll say, thanks. Please put that in the organizational, section on this page. If you just really don't even want to copy and paste, but generally I'll just say in the prompt and put it in the organizational history section. And I just point out on the page which section to put it in and it puts it in there. And it's also linked in here, which pages from its website it took that information from. And then it's telling us what it did. And do you want a shorter version? Yes, please. Under the mission section, Yes, please. So it's also thinking about what else I might need. Now let's see what happens here. I'll put a question mark. Yes, please. Let's see what it can do. And there we go. Now, of course, I'm going to go and check that, but I know that I believe that this is correct. We go to mission in our story. There's the mission. Okay. Now, let's imagine again, like I started to talk about, we have a client who doesn't want anything to do with this. That's fine. I'm still going to use this because it's much easier than copying back and forth between whatever AI I'm using. I can go up here to these three buttons and I can export as a PDF, HTML, Markdown, and CSV. Sadly, not a Word doc, but guess what? I could just copy and paste. Now, one trick with Notion, when you first hit your copy command, it's only going to copy the block, the one single block. But if you hit it twice, it'll copy the entire thing. Okay, then I'm going to, or select the entire thing. Then I'm going to hit copy, go over to my Word doc, and paste. The only thing that doesn't work out well is the image stuff. But all the text is there. And even links that will link back to your Notion. Same thing goes for the databases. You can export your databases. These are just tables right here. These aren't databases, but the databases, which I'll show you in a bit, you can export those as a CSV, and then you have a sheet that you can use, just like you would with anything from Excel. This is also easy because clicking these, you're linked to each different thing, so on and so forth. I'm also going to ask it to describe the beneficiaries. Please use that website again. Let's see if I can put it in there and it will reference it again. Please use that website again to write a detailed description of their beneficiaries. Please put it in the beneficiaries section of this document. Let's see if it can do it. Yeah, so it put it right in there. I would say this has too much program design. This is not what I want to talk about. So I'm going to select this and say, this is great for the program design section or program description, because we don't even have program design in this part. Section, but I need you to also research data on these populations and incorporate it into the description. So just focus on that in this section. And, oh, that's the one thing about this that's still a little weird. It says all sources I can access here. But if you click over here, you'll see what that means is that it chooses from the web. So you just don't see that that's what it's doing. But when you click that here, that's what it's doing. Now it says it's thinking. There have been a lot of research papers lately on whether AI is actually thinking. So we could debate that, but Now it's pulling all of this data. And I'm going to say insert below. However, where are your sources? Okay. Please incorporate the sources you use to make these claims. Then cite them at the end of this section. Now we have AI prompts that can like make sure you do this without having to type in everything I'm typing. So I'll show you that here. But you all know that. You all know how to prompt it for sources, right? So here we go. There are the sources. I'm going to accept it, but I'm also going to say, what do you think I'm going to say? Where are your links? Hello, and cite your sources or use all sources I can access. And I'm going to check that data. Okay, I'm going to hit close because I don't want it to put it there. But make sure you do ask it in the prompt to cite its sources. Now, where can you find those prompts? There's an AI prompts list built into this space with all of those prompts in here. Now, this isn't something we thought about. I'm just thinking about it right now, is we could build those into the standard grant narrative section. There's a way we could put those in there. As of right now, when you start a new actual grant application, it embeds those prompts in there so you can just use them easily. I'll show you that here in a second. But you can pull any of these prompts and use them. The mission and history one was embedded in there. For this one, you'll see it's just what I had already typed up in there. Some of them that are longer, you do have to click on and open. And that's another oddity of Notion is clicking this doesn't open it, okay? You have to click on the open button because each of these little rows are an entire separate page with information in it. Okay, let me pause here and see what your thoughts are.
I thought I had a handle on this. Now I feel like I'm starting again, which I think is a good thing. It's not bad at all. I'm over my fear of engaging with it. But I also know my client won't cope. The clients I've got that I'm building for this, they won't cope with this. It's going to have to be me doing all this work, which I'm all for. I'm not against it, but it's like, this is slick. I really do feel like I'm starting again. Denise, what do you think?
A conversation with Stephanie earlier this week. This is a lot of manual stuff. I love it. I love everything I see. I think it's fantastic, but it is very manual at setting it up. And I told her, I said, because we were trying to discuss for a campus like what I'm on, where you have the schools, then you've got the departments, and then you've got like projects. How do you set this up? Do you put it all under one team space? Do you put it under the school's team space, the department? How? Because it could be any of 3,000 people that I'm dealing with at any given time. So it's it's massive in trying to figure it out. But I think if I can understand it and be able to play with it enough, I'll figure it out. Today, am I confident? No, but
I
but
think the
I
best thing to do is play with it. That's the best thing to do is play with it. Try to put some of this stuff in there. Try prompting it, and then you'll start to see the intricacies of it.
because I do like I like the AI part. I like how everything is arranged. It's just, it's not like you can put the document in there and it just reads it and it puts it in the right place. You've
Yeah.
got to actually go in and put it in and organize it. And once you've got it done, I can imagine it works wonderfully. But it's finding that time to do that piece. And like she said, there were other people being able to write it grants at that time where she was able to concentrate on getting this client in. And so I just have to figure out how to get to that point, because I'm really excited about it, because I think that it's going to give us so many more options and where we're looking for grants
Yeah.
for the campus. And even as I start my business, that, it's just opening up so many avenues. But as far as the 32K project, I'm not there yet, because I can't.
Hey.
I'm
Yeah.
not ready to do this with clients. I'm not there yet.
That's okay. So let me say this. If you can upload a document to Google Drive, you can upload a document here. It's so easy. So let's do that. I do want to note one thing here. In addition to, you've got this table of contents here, you can also scroll over these little things over here. And if you've got a table of contents set up like we do, you can quickly go to different sections of this. So let me show you how to upload a document. Let's go to organizational documents. So you've got a menu over here in the team spaces where you can find things. You've also got menus here on the dashboard where you can find things. So let's say I want to add our IRS determination letter. All you have to do is click open. Okay. This little plus pops up. And then I can add a file. And let's just say I'll do a screenshot. This is something I was using earlier to show somebody something. Now, if that's too many steps, you can just pull up your Finder window or whatever you have on Microsoft and drag and drop. Now this is an image, so it's embedding an image, but it can embed PDFs or anything else you want to embed, drag and drop. Okay, so now let's say you just got your IRS determination letter in 2025. You can select that. There's, a specific date. You can put that in there. You can say this is current. And then if you have other things you want to note, you can add those properties right here. And all you have to do is type our notes and just select what type of column you want it to be. For this, we can just do text. Or let's say you want to assign somebody to update it. You can click that plus and select a person. Or select the person category. And then you can say, I'm going to assign this to Krista to update. You could put a note, please update to our latest version. And I'll say, this is actually out of date, needs update. And it's going to give me over here in my inbox a message in a second once I get that notification that I've been assigned something. Now that's organized also, this is all the same thing, just different views of the same thing. I just want to look at the legal status docs. I'll click that and I can see, yeah, my IRS determination letter and my state charity registration. Or I just want to see partner and support. or board list or board documents or financials. Now, why do we have this here rather than just in a Google Drive? Let's go back to our standard grant narrative. And these are automatically put into alphabetical order, I believe, but some of it's been rearranged at the top for those 5 chunks of things, and then the rest is in alphabetical order. Let me go to dun, dun, dun. Where is it? Actually, let me add one to board of directors because I don't think we have that put in here. Maybe we do. Sorry, let me just go back and show you the board of directors because the IRS determination letter, you usually don't need it there. So I'll go put in, or how about a DEI statement? I'm going to pull in, let's do a doc this time. Let me go back to the standard grant narrative. And I'm just going to search DEI. And I can click it here and see that thing that I just put in there. Let's also say we want that somewhere else in a grant that we're working on. I'll show you how to quickly embed it in there without having to find the file and drag and drop it ever again. So let's go to grant generator. This is my favorite thing. Grant generator. This is where the grants are going to pop up. So this is where your workspace is going to be. You can see there's nothing in here right now, but I'm going to say, let's go to the grant tracker and pick an opportunity. Now you're going to upload your opportunities here that you have on your list. You can find them through a database. You can find them through a Google search, or you can search using the AI in here for them. I'm just going to say, let's do a new grant. And I'll list out all the information here about that grant. Let's say it's high priority. Let's put the funder website. Boardfoundation.org or whatever it is, .com probably. Board Foundation. Now, when I type that here, it's going to create a new entry in our funders list where we keep all of our notes and info about our funders. I'm going to select this program. I'm going to select the funding category. It's not started, and the deadline is the 30th. Planned request amount is 500,000. Okay. That is the Ford Foundation grant. I'm going to click open. I'm actually going to rename it here. And you can see where you can start to draft. Sorry, you all probably didn't see that. My screen went crazy. You can start to draft the grant application here. I'm looking at the, I realized I saw there were a bunch of chat comments here. Who is an iPhone? Who's iPhone? Can't see who that person is. And do we have more people trying to join? I can't tell. Okay, no, we don't. Denise, did you say something? Sorry.
We were just kind of chatting.
Okay, okay.
I don't think it was any questions.
Okay. Now you can look at this grant tracker and see what is being planned. So that's anything that's not started, what's in progress, pending, awarded, and then you can actually click and see where it fits in with your annual strategy. And as you add more here, it is going to group them by month so that you can quickly look at them. I won't get into like a million different things you can do, but I will tell you, these are things we built, but these are things you can delete. Let's say I don't care what was awarded, which would be crazy, but let's say I don't care about that. I can entirely delete this section, that view. Everything is still going to be there that was in the awarded section. I'm just not going to have that view of it. Also, let's say I didn't like what I just did. I can hit Command Z. Okay, maybe not for that, but for most things, and it will put it back. So there's so much more that you can do with how things are set up in here. So get used to how it is and learn how to use it. And then once you're using it, you're like, oh my gosh, I need that awarded section back. I can go add a new view, another table. I'll name it awarded. And then you put the filter on it to status awarded. Save for everyone. And then I'm going to move it to, let's say here. So you can easily rearrange these to be however you want them to be. And that's really where that service of providing the setup to your client comes in, because again, it's not that static software. Once they get in here and they're like, you know what, this thing would be really nice, you go, oh, yeah, I can set that up for you. And that's where the $32,000 service comes in. Make sense? Thoughts? I'm trying to see people's faces and I can't see people's faces right now. Everybody's disappeared.
Krista, I've got some
There you are.
ideas and comments too.
Yeah.
So Denise and I, we were chit-chatting. Patrick's in the same boat. We all feel like we need a hand-holding session or a co-working session. I really thought I had a good grasp of this until I saw this today. And I think it's just that normal human reaction. I got to go back and mess around and get in there and sandbox it and get it figured out. However, I'm in the middle of this Montana Nonprofit Association conference this week, and I did present that instrumental talk on using AI for grant writing, but what came up, the moderator asked, is there a way to build stuff for grants that's not Google Drive and not a software? And I said, yeah, Notion. My gut is saying if there were kind of 3 levels of this model, it's a whole new market. And I'd love to introduce you to MNA. What shocked me in my presentation was half the audience weren't using AI for grant writing, but we all know that's going to change. But there are so many small scale nonprofits that need this, because the way they're doing it at the moment is manila folders, filing cabinets, someone's heard. So I don't know. What do others think? I love what I'm seeing, but I'm a bit like Denise. Yeah, I thought I had it. I was feeling pretty cocky when I signed on.
Yeah, because I mean, I went into it one day and it's like, okay, I'm gonna enter all this for the Wetmore project. That way I can start showing him which grants are available. And it's like,
Couldn't do it.
I barely got started, and it's like, okay, I mean, I'm not a dumb person. I know I can figure this out, and I messed things up because I didn't figure it out. So I'm going to make multiple duplicates so that if I screw up and I screw up bad enough that I have to delete it, at least I've got some more to deal with.
Well, let me show you something that'll help with that. Let me show you this real quick. So we put something in the grant tracker. There we are. Put something in the grant tracker, and you can see here she does have these built-in.
Read
Read
yeah.
me first. Here's how this works. Here's how to add an entry to the grant tracker. But go back to where I was here. Let's say we want to do a new page here. Well, we've got one that I haven't done anything with. If you go to the grant generator and you do a new page, you can select the template and it gives you all the prompts that you need for that thing. So what I can do here then is I can go to write a mission and history section, and you'll see it has that exact thing that was in the standard grant narrative. So you can use this as the AI prompt, or if you have, a funder that has a specific definition of what they want to see in the mission and history section, you can copy and paste it right here. And you can then say to the AI, copy, or not copy, but highlight it, select it. And then you can say, please write a 100-word mission and history for my organization. I'll just say my org here. I don't even have to say which org. Why? Because now I'm going to go to using knowledge only in the practice team space. That's how you exclude getting information about other clients. So that's why you start with the standard grant narrative, if at all possible. Okay, and then it's going to say, you want this? Yes, accept.
I've just realized why I'm struggling, Krista.
Oh, I put the wrong thing in there. Did I say the wrong
I've
thing?
never used some of these. I've never been dependent on, I have used them. I've never been dependent on other grant software for lots of reasons. Sometimes I just can't access it. So the reason I'm struggling is I'm overwhelmed with the technicality of the platform, but not the logic. So, and I think in terms of other nonprofits, there will be a similar feeling. The logic makes sense. It's really great. But I think my barrier that I'm dealing with today is, I got to learn another new software. God damn it, I just got a handle on the last one, which I think is very, very normal. But I'm also thinking of this conference group. There's like 1,600 nonprofit reps at this conference. And this is the virtual week. This is not the in-person week, which is bigger. So it's, in terms of thinking of clients, building my own business, like Denise is saying, and getting this to the point where I'm leading and it's friendly for me. Part of my challenge, I think, is that lack of familiarity with other grant softwares, and also thinking all the clients I work with, none of them, most of them don't even have Google Drive. So I'm at the bottom end of the spectrum. I'm just sharing all this because it's a very human moment for me. I was so goddamn cocky when I logged on. I've just had a great week at this conference. I've got all these great high ratings for my presentation. I know this shit. And it's like, oh God, where do I even find that?
No, I don't know how the grants world continues to do that to us. I mean, all of a sudden you're like, you've reached a point, it's like, okay, I got it. I know what I'm doing. I'm there. And all of a sudden, bam, it hits you.
Yeah.
It's just weird. Cause I mean, I remember I had been doing grants about 7 years and I thought, hey, I got this now. Oh no, that next year just put me down back in the dirt. And it's like, okay, there's a lot more I still don't know. So it seems like it keeps doing that. There's just so many moving parts in the grants world that keeps happening, or it keeps happening to me anyway.
Yeah.
So kind of what Zen was saying, and I think I understand where she's going with like the 3 different versions, but So let's say that you have submit, and I think I've asked Stephanie this before. I don't think I understood her answer, but let's say that you do this for client A. You've
Mhm.
got this all under control, and then another new Hub 3.0 comes out. Is there a way to transfer everything into 3.0, or are you re-entering everything in 3.0?
So yeah, we've talked about this. This, we made sure that this version works, to the best of our ability, and nothing is broken within it. I saw a broken link to an external page earlier. We can easily fix that. But like the way everything works in here doesn't need to be updated. Let's say, for example, we add a page that just says grant search. I can see us adding that in the very near future as we get a handle on the new updates to the different models for how we use it for grant searching. Because what I did in July is no longer working as well as it did in July for grant searches with AI. So, I mean, you can use the prompts we have in here now and do a grant search anywhere within this. Like you can click this little guy and you can say use all sources. And you can do a grant search right here. Find 10 or 20 actually. Find 20 grants for art. And I'm not even going to give it more information than that from now. So you would do a full organization profile to find these sources, but then I could say all sources and it'll find them, right? And I can copy and paste and put that into my grant tracker. And as I can move around in here as it's doing that, and I can put them in here, right? But I can see us having a page that's just that, so people know, like, this is where you go to search for grants if you need a space to do it. What you can do is you can just copy that one page from the new template and then move it over to your team space.
Oh,
Does that make sense?
yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Move
So
it over to your AI.
really changing inside those, like the funding tracker or anything like that. If you're doing anything, you're adding new pages.
Most likely, yeah.
Okay.
So here are 20, and this is giving me the exact one we're working on with them right now. That's the first one that's on here. Yep, and these are good because I've been doing this research, right? So then I could say, okay, great. Like I'm going to copy that. And I might put that, I don't know. I could just add a new page if I want. Add an empty page and say, paste this, review grant ops. Oops. Now, the other thing is to make this easy, let's say you already have a fully developed spreadsheet of grant opportunities. You can go to that grant tracker, go to the upper right-hand corner with the 3 dots, and then go to merge with CSV. You can select a CSV file. See if I have one handy. I'm sure I do. Select that file. Select open. And then all I have to do is map the CSV headers. So I look at what's in the CSV file column and say, okay, the funder name goes with the funder name. And some of them don't all show up here, so you can add properties or not show up, but so they may not all match. So you may need to add a property like text. So that's going to be a funder name, the funder type. So I can add that property as well. And you go through each and everything here, and you can say what it maps to. Now, I haven't set up my table in advance. I would set it up to match the columns that I have on this CSV so that this process is easier. And then you can make sure everything matches where you want it to be, and then hit import CSV.
And if I remember right, it doesn't do Excel, right? You have to copy, you have to save your Excel to a CSV.
Yeah, it's the same thing though, basically. Right, so all you have to do is file save as CSV.
So if you were working with the client who, like Zen was saying, you know, doesn't have a lot of, they're not able to do all this. Can you hide some of these different documents, like if they don't have an overhead?
You can delete it.
So you can delete it off of each individual client,
Yep. Now I've seen this happen. This has happened to me once before. This didn't upload. So I'm going to go back and show you that it does actually work. So merge with CSV. There we go. So yeah, you'll see if you see like it doesn't do the thing it's supposed to do like this, sometimes with importing, it'll do that. Now, if I had more information in those files, it would fill all of this out to match it. Okay, but that's how you get your CSVs in there without doing manual entry. And then let's say I go through and fill all this out and I'm like, man, I wish that I had that in the CSV. We'll go back to the three dots and hit export. And you can do it as CSV, PDF, or HTML and export it. Okay. Yeah, so let's say you don't want the overhead tracker. You can go move it to trash. And hiding it, that one I'm not sure about. But you could, you know, take it off of this list here for them.
Okay, because that could simplify some of that list for them, because I can see somebody who's not accustomed to, because I've had both ways. I've had like no support like this, and I've worked in very extensive
Yeah.
programs. InfoEd is huge and it does a lot of different things. But you know, there's like 400,000 different categories and things you can pull in. You got to let them know what you want.
Right.
But
That's why
all that becomes very automated. But
so that's why we have this as a drop down, so you can close it and not worry about it. And they can just say, what do I need to do today? Oh, I need to do team coordination. Let me click on that. And you can see what tasks are there. You can see your recent meeting notes. You can see your meetings by grant. Or let me go to grant writing. And then I can see the links that I have just for that. Or quick capture. I love the quick capture. Let's say I want to start a new grant. All I have to do is click this. And it starts it, and it gives me all the prompts that go along with it. Easy peasy. Okay, let me show you the one last thing because I know we're at time, but I wanted to make sure you all saw this. Okay, because Denise was scared of making mistakes. So if you go up here to the right-hand corner, this is just like Google Docs. See the dots? We're going to go down to version history. I can see versions for the past 30 days here, and I can click any version of it, and I can revert to that version. Or I can just click on it and copy and paste it and put it somewhere if I want to. Yeah, and it tells you more about 7 days if you're on free, 30 on plus, 90 on business, et cetera, et cetera. And then the other thing is, that allows you also to see who edited it at what time, things like that. I wanted to show you some little tricks also. If you all have a second, if you don't have to go, if you have to go, thank you so much for being here. But I was actually showing Luke some of these tricks yesterday that I think make a world of difference when it comes to project management in here. I would turn off the emails, at least most of the emails that you would get in your settings. Let's see, is it general or notifications? And just get like the workspace digest. The best place to see your notifications is within Notion. You go to your inbox and I can see every single notification. And as soon as I have done whatever task is related to that, I archive it. And that's how I know what's done. So this is good for if people add you to things, if people message you, if people comment on a thing, you can check it off there. The other thing is, let's say you're like, I don't want to go look through this long list of stuff. I mean, we've got a long list of stuff, right? These aren't even all the pages like opened, right? So I can go through and open all these and you can see all the stuff. I can just go search for anything here, and it is easier to find than if you're searching in Google Drive. It's also going to show me the most recently opened things right here. And I can say, let's find the chat with Luke. And I can open that up. And you can even open it in a new tab or copy the link with these different commands. The other thing is favorites. So you can look at my favorites bar and see the things that I'm focused on right now. Let's say I want to favorite this small grant template. I can go here and add it to my favorites by clicking the star, and now it shows up over here. And then once I'm done with it, I've done it for the week and it's done, it's submitted, I'll remove it from the favorites. It just makes it easier. All right, so those are little quick tips and tricks. This video is recorded, so you can go back and watch it anytime. Next week, or is it the week after next? What week is this? Next week, it's gotta be next week. Stephanie is doing Skill Builder session 2 on this, where she can answer more questions, give you more help. The best way is just to mess around, play around. And if you have a question, you can always ask us in the chat in Grant Writing Boss Club or Grant Writing Made Easier. And there's always some tutorial Stephanie has made. God only knows how many tutorials, so that you can go back and find those on this page. Setup guides, the support library, and even if you go back to that unit in Grant Writing Made Easier, I know some of the setup guides were for the earlier version, but it's very, very similar. You can go play around in there. Like this one, the paint by numbers, it's got step-by-step embedded video tutorials that walk you through everything. Uh-oh, is our link broken? No, it just doesn't, I'm in edit mode. Okay. So that's another option that you can use. Thoughts, questions? Now, you know who's been using this every day is Luke. So he's also in our course community on Mighty Networks. So you could be like, Luke, He's another resource for you all. He might say, you know what I did first? He may not have all the technicalities down, but he might say, you know what I did first to figure this out? This.
Well, I'd just say that working on it is what gets you up to speed. If you've got a project or something you're working on, dive into it.
That's the best way to do it. I learn new things all the time working in it. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. You'll have this recording up tomorrow and you can use it. Let me know in the meantime if you have any questions. Hey, you know what? Maybe that's still the best place to keep them, and you can just have all this stuff over here for yourself if you're working on retainer with them. Don't feel like you got to get them bought into this if they're not there yet.
Yeah, I think the eye opener for me is the combination of this, the power of this platform, which I love, but knowing how my clients work. And that's a massive gap that I don't think Notion bridges for them. Although this idea of like 3 different levels of Notion, like one for we just got onto Google Drive, to the other version might be, we're good at Google Drive, but we need it to do more. And then maybe this full-blown Notion 2.0. But I know it's a gut thing, and there's still a lot of folks here that aren't even on Google Drive. So I think having that tiered approach.
What y'all talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
But it did come up in the conference, and I got an email while you were presenting, Krista, from them. So if you could, I'll send you an email. I need a couple of service sheets. I'm going to sell you to Montana Nonprofit Association for the grant writing with AI, but also this idea of Notion, because it did come up in the session.
Well, this goes back to Denise's thing of like, can we hide certain things from them? Yeah, like we can make it so that that's not obvious that this is working behind the scenes. And you can limit how many pages are in there if you don't need all of these pages. But for us, I think it's so good to have stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zen. Well, let me know what you need. I'm happy. I'm even happy to do presentations on it if people want me to.
Yeah, no, I'll send an email because there's a market there, and it reminds me of your relationship with that group in Kentucky.
Yeah.
And I know here the way these small nonprofits work, they're 2 and 3 people at most. Grants get written at midnight. It's copy and paste, very low success rate overall. And it's those exec directors that actually need the other tool, but they're going to have the same reaction as me. It's like, another goddamn software to learn. I just got on Google Drive. Where's that waffle? What have I got to click on? So, but it's all valued feedback for me, and I can see it being for you, but I want to connect you to this statewide association, because the content you've got in grant writing with AI is a game changer right there. But then with the larger agencies, like the larger private foundations that I'm talking to today at 12:30, that's where I can see Notions being so key. And thanks to Denise yesterday, totally pitching the appropriations request. I got my shit together last night. I got the script. I got it all done. Did all the analysis. I am so ready. So
That's awesome. Yeah, I would love to see like the conversations you all have if you have bigger organizations. Well, I mean, they can't really understand it till they get it.
yeah.
But when you're talking about the 3 different versions, like I'd like to talk about like what they would need in the different versions.
And I think the way I would define that is how they work,
Yeah.
not different levels of technical support. like the nonprofits I work with, this shit is in someone's head. It's not written down anywhere in one place. It'll be in 5 places and it will go on memory. And so getting them to Google Drive last year was huge. So I can't push them to Notion. They're not there yet. They can barely use Google Drive.
But I'm thinking, you know, the 3 different versions thing, we could make 3 different versions. We initially had 4 different versions, and we thought it was too much. It would give people choice paralysis. Or no, maybe it was even more than 4 different versions. She had multiple versions of this, and I was like, we need to just have the most complex version, give it to people and say, here's how we can simplify it. So maybe we need to do that, because I'm thinking, like, for us as consultants, that's our service, is like, here is this wide array of tools within this. Let's customize it to your needs and take out what doesn't work. So we gave you the most complex of the versions.
I have to work the opposite way, where it's, I know how you work and where this is sitting in your head. Can I get you to get that out of your head onto a Word doc, send it to me, I'll make a file system. So it's understanding how they work and transitioning them through their work practices to get to the point where they can actually engage with Notion. The fact that one of them gave me a subscription blew me away. And it's like, I know they haven't been in there, but I don't care. I'm in there every day. But it's, to me, the key to this is knowing how the folks currently work. So they're not learning a whole new approach. They're transitioning organically from the rubbish practices they have now, because it's in someone's head, into get it out of your head and down. Now let's put it in a place where it's really impactful. And that, to me, that's the key with my market here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, when we're building Notion, we're doing it from the start. And for people who are eager to use it, you know, our 2 new clients, we got 2 new clients in the last week. We're starting with them in Notion, but the other clients, we started with just doing the grant readiness, just doing the standard grant narrative. We're putting it into Notion, and then in the middle to the end, we start working with them on how it's all structured. We're never just dropping it in there and saying, well, here it is. We're customizing it as they learn it, and then we train them on that, and then we iterate it again. Does that make sense?
Yes. And I think that's actually what's needed. And just in the scope of the market here, you've got state departments. There's some very sophisticated state private funders that I actually work with a lot, including the state library. And then you've got this whole ant's nest of nonprofits that are 1, 2, or 3 people at most. And email can be, you know, a bit challenging even. So it's getting to that larger market, that ant's nest of nonprofits, no resources, that want to win grants and can't write grants during the day, don't know how to, let alone use AI. So to me, that's a massive market ready for transitioning organically from how they currently work, getting rid of some of those bad practices to best practice with Notion. It's clear in my head, might not be clear to you guys. I don't know. Luke, you're grinning. What are you thinking? Am I talking
makes
through my
sense.
top?
It makes sense, and it's interesting to think about all these folks out there writing grants. Yeah.
Yeah, because I see them all the time, and I've been on the other side of the table, and some of these shit proposals, it's like, God damn it, hire me and I'll show you how to win this. But again, when you see how they work and what they do to get through each day, I think pitching Notion at that level that allows them to unlearn what they're currently doing before they take on learning something better, and then being able to step them through it. To me, to me, that would be the key in this environment.
Mhm.
But it might be a very different market in an urban area, or like even where Denise is, or even Patrick in Alaska, it might be a very different market. But it's that, to me, the nugget is figuring out, do they know how they're working? Can they unlearn it? And then can they take on Notion?
Yeah. And for some, it may not be right, and I totally get that.
Yeah.
I want to say yesterday, that guy who was in the grant chat who was like saying, "Oh, I've got a better system." I kicked him out of the group. So, but because that pissed me off. But here's what his thing is here. Let me show you. Grant aid, 198 a month for 15 AI interactions a month, 10 upload documents a month. This is what we're up against.
This is the guy I
This
reported to
is-
Better Business Bureau.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, that's him.
Well, he's kicked out of the group now because that made me mad yesterday. I was like, are you kidding me?
It used to be
So
10
he
bucks.
was, this was in the grant chat or something? I must have missed. I was in 2 meetings yesterday. The one I missed, all the excitement happened in.
It wasn't dramatic at the time, but in my head, I was like, oh, because his comment was, do you want to know about an even more powerful tool than this one? As I was talking about the thing that we made. And I was like, what is it called? I wanted to know what it was.
Yeah.
And he said, well, do you want to learn more about it? I was like, no, because I've got a product right here. Why are you trying to pitch a product in my space? Like, get out of here, dude. I can't stand these people. And I can't see anything about his background and history. So I'm like, who are you? You have no background in this, I would venture to say.
No loss. I know this guy. I met him through here, Mighty Networks,
Yeah.
and signed up for the 10 bucks a month, and then he wouldn't let me cancel. So I reported him to the Better Business Bureau, and it was a total scam, a total scam. And when I engaged with him in a Zoom call, he knew nothing about grants,
Well,
let
he's
alone grant writing. It was like, I don't even know why you're here. But what he was doing was promoting his platform to get revenue in so he could keep paying his developer.
I'm sorry. Well, he's gone now. I'm glad that's who it was and we got rid of him.
Yeah.
But from now on, I'm just telling all these people, no, get out of here. Like, you're not allowed to do this. But yeah, that price point, 198 a month for 10 AI interactions, that's insane. Insane.
You use it up in a few hours or an hour.
An hour, 30 minutes. Not. Oh, Stephanie just posted a picture from the Make with Notion conference in the grant writer community. Cute. She didn't put doctor on her badge though. I'm gonna say, Stephanie, where is your doctor on there? All right. Well, thank you all so much for your support, not tolerating these people. Now, if anybody does that and you know, remember who they are, flag them, let me know. You can mark on their little profile to me, like, there's a problem with this person, okay? You can put a note in it and let me know and I'll kick them out. All right, have a great day, everybody, and I will see you next week. Bye.
Hey.
Bye.